In this video, we are going to be talking about overnight rose water for massive hair growth. I am going to be showing you 2 ways to use rose water for extremely fast hair growth. And no, you did not hear me wrong. I didn't say rice wrong. I said rose water. Yes, this is something that I've known about for a very long time, but I forget about it and I don't use it that often. So I decided to put it back in my regimen, and I'm going to show you the 2 best ways you can use rose water for massive hair growth. It is so easy, and for once, oh my god, we have a hair growth hack that smells great. It does not smell bad one bit. It actually smells amazing. So forget about the bad smell of your onion juice, your rice water. Although this has completely different benefits than those, at least one of the amazing benefits is it smells amazing. Let's get into some tips and how you can use rose water for massive hair growth on your natural hair, or whatever kind of hair you have. If you don't know me, my name is Angelica. I post videos twice a week. This is a channel all about growing long natural hair. I do a little bit of beauty and skincare and some fun stuff once in a while when requested. So if that seems like something you might be interested in, consider subscribing. The subscription button is right down there, as well as the bell icon. Make sure you hit the bell so you get notifications every single time I post. Let's get straight into the video. Okay, so like I said, there are 2 ways to use rose water in your hair, and I'm going to start with the first way, which is the overnight rose water. I actually do not have a preference. Sometimes I actually use both ways at once. You can only use one way. It is all up to you. So starting with the first one, this is using rose water as a pre-poo, which means you put it in your hair before you wash your hair. Now you can do this just before and use it as a detangler, but I like to leave it in my hair overnight. I do not sleep with wet hair. I hate sleeping with wet hair. It makes my scalp itch. So what I'll do is later on in the afternoon, the day before I want to wash my hair, I will spray my water and soak it in, and then I will let it dry in my hair. I will go to sleep with it, and then the next morning I go ahead and do my wash day routine just the same way I would always do it. Okay, so this is my rose water, and don't worry, I'm going to be showing you exactly how to make this rose water. I just wanted to do this one in reverse and show you how to use it first, so do not worry about that. So I'm starting with this back section. My hair is already sectioned into 4 big twists ready for my wash day, and so I'm just starting with this back one, and I'm splitting that back section into 2 first, and I'm clipping the rest away. So I'm starting by spraying the rose water onto my scalp and massaging that in very well, because rose water is a mild astringent, so it is very beneficial for your scalp, but it is also very beneficial on your hair. And this is what I love so much about rose water, because not only is it great for your scalp, it is also great for your hair strands. So you want to make sure you focus on everything. And I like to start on my roots only because some of the water drips down the rest of the hair shaft, so it feels like a waste to start at the bottom. So once that is well worked in, as you guys can see, I will move on to the next section. Also note that I am only finger detangling because I'm just focusing on removing any shed hairs, because I'm going to detangle my hair thoroughly when I'm moisturizing it and detangling it, and putting my hair in my favorite protective style, which is the twists you can see that are already in my hair, and this was before. So I would always advise you to just not over detangle your hair, because you might just start leading to unwanted breakage and also over shedding for no reason. So at this point, I just focus on my scalp, as you guys can see with the second section, massage it in, and then spray more and work it down all the rest of my hair. And if there's any shed hairs, I just take that out because it prevents more tangling later on. So I'm just focusing on that for now. And then once I'm done with that, I go ahead and just twist it up in one big twist. I prefer to keep my hair in twists because I'm going to let this dry, and I don't like to dry my hair with clips in or anything like that, because it can lead to a little bit more tangling and like pulling your hairs out with your clips. So I just go to sleep, let the hair dry before I go ahead and sleep, and then the next day I go ahead and continue, and then the second way is you can use it as a leave-in treatment. So you can just leave it in your hair, use it in the moisturizer stage. So now this is the other way. When I use it as a leave-in conditioner, you guys can see I have already done my twists at the back. Sorry if you can hear any noise in the background. I have no idea what that is. So what I do is I spray it in exactly the same way I would spray it in as a pre-poo, except in smaller sections. So I make my hair completely damp. I had just washed my hair here, and then I'm putting in my leave-in cream, and this is the one by African Pride, but you can use any leave-in cream or moisturizer that you want. Then I go ahead and take my oil mix and just seal everything in, and then I'll go ahead and make my little twist. And this is the protective style I'm staying in. I am not adding any hair gel or or any styling product, because I'm not doing this as a twist out. I'm actually just doing this as a protective style. So I'll leave this in my hair for 2 to 3 weeks depending on how long I can keep it. Now, unfortunately for rose water, it is an additional step. It does not replace a step. You know, things like avocado masks and perhaps aloe vera, you could substitute your detangler for aloe vera, or you could substitute your deep conditioner for an avocado deep conditioner. With this one, you're not necessarily substituting anything. It's just an added step, but it is a very easy step to add. It is a very easy thing to make, so don't worry about that. It literally takes like 5 minutes to make. Let's talk about the actual benefits just to see if you might actually want to try this. In case it doesn't seem interesting to you, let me give you the benefits of rose water. Okay, so the first benefit of rose water is it helps give you a nice clean scalp because it is naturally a mild astringent, which means it removes excess oils and like the bacteria in that area that makes things like fungus grow and dandruff. So because it's a mild astringent, which is similar to something like witch hazel, but not as strong, of course, it can suck up all the dirt on your scalp, and it can also really help with your dandruff. And when you have no dandruff, it makes sure that your scalp is not itching, and when you are not scratching an itching scalp, there is a chance that you are not losing as much hair as possible, because scratching your scalp can damage your follicles and it can cause unnecessary shedding. So this is actually a really good thing that rose water does. It also has anti-inflammatory properties, which means it can actually help with things like eczema and psoriasis on your scalp. Now, sometimes you might not even notice it, but if you touch your scalp or you see that you have certain like red patches or like really rough patches on your scalp, that could be eczema or psoriasis. First of all, you might want that to be checked on by your doctor or dermatologist or something like that to make sure you know exactly what the problem is. But if it's something that you don't even know you have and you just get a lot of itching and stuff like that, the rose water can actually really help just tame that down and calm it down. And also it kind of goes in line with the dandruff thing. Your scalp will be nice and soothed, and that would just make a much better environment for hair growth. Because I'm sure you've noticed, if you ever have like a patch, like if your hair was kind of braided too tight, or if you were relaxed at any point and the relaxer kind of burnt your scalp at any point or something like that, there's usually a little patch. Your hair would definitely still grow back, but the growth is going to be kind of stunted because your scalp is kind of very irritated in that area. So treating something like that would actually really help with your hair growth. It also helps with calming frizz and adding shine because it makes your hair feel so nice and soft. And usually when your hair is really soft, if your hair is nice and smooth and soft, when you add other products, your hair is more susceptible to laying nice and flat and looking more shiny. So rose water definitely helps with that. So now we're going to go into the demonstration of how to make the rice water. It literally takes like 2 minutes when I'm not filming. It is very quick. I love making the rice water. So let's go back into the demonstration, and then you see what I add into the rose water, because it's not just plain rose water from the bottle. When we come back, I'll tell you why I add those things. So let's go into the little demo. And now it is time for the moment you've been waiting for, making the rose water. It is not just plain rose water we are pouring in. We are actually mixing it with some other things. So first you want to get your spray bottle and fill it up halfway with your rose water. And the reason is because rose water is a mild astringent. I think I've already said this, but if not, I'm saying it now. And then I am adding some glycerin, which is very needed. I'll be mentioning the benefits of glycerin very soon in the rest of the video. And you want to put about a tablespoon, or just count to 3. That's about a tablespoon of glycerin. And then I'm adding some plain water to finish up the rest of the half, and then I'll shake this up and mix it up. And it is very easy to mix. The glycerin and the rose water, they don't separate once you mix it. I still advise you to mix it before you use it, just in case, because everything is clear, but it mixes up very well. And as you guys can see, it is just a nice clear liquid solution. No lumps, no nothing. You don't need warm water or hot water, and you can just store it wherever you want to store it. No need to put it in the fridge. So you guys saw that was super easy to make. There's no need to wait for 24 hours to let it ferment or do anything. You literally make it instantly and you can use it. You don't have to store it in the fridge. Don't have to worry about it going bad. You can keep it anywhere. You can use it. If it starts to smell bad or look funny, then I guess you just have to toss it out. But in my experience, I have always used it up before it goes bad or anything. I don't even know how long that would take, because like I said, rose water is a mild astringent, so it kind of absorbs anything that might make it go bad. So this is very safe. You can keep it for a very long time. And again, I always suggest you just keep it in a bottle like this. Not to mention, isn't it just so fancy looking? Literally just looks like pure water, like the easiest thing you can have. It's like water but better. So, if you saw as I was making that rose water, I used glycerin. Now, glycerin is like the magic secret ingredient that you need to make your rose water work best for you. And the reason is glycerin is a humectant, and that means that it draws moisture from the environment. And when it draws moisture from the environment, it means that your hair is always going to be moisturized. But if you take note, the fact that it draws moisture from the environment makes it a good and a bad thing. If you live in a very, very cold and dry area, I would not advise you to use glycerin or just the rose water in general, maybe just on your scalp. But I would not advise you to use it as a leave-in conditioner. You could use it as an overnight treatment, that would work fine. But you should wash it out and just use whatever other product you use. Do not leave it in your hair as a leave-in treatment if you live in a cold and dry area, because the cold and dry area is actually going to suck that moisture out of your hair because it is a humectant, so it draws moisture. So the air is going to get moisture from your hair instead of the other way around. Luckily, I live in a very hot and humid area, so it is basically always okay for me to use rose water in my hair as a pre-poo or as a leave-in, so I just wanted you to take note of that. Glycerin also helps your hair stay nice and soft because it is a humectant. Again, it makes your hair nice and soft, and when your hair is soft and smooth, it does not break as much, which means it makes your hair grow so much faster. I love to combine using rose water with a protective style, so that every single time I want to spray water in my hair, I use the rose water. It gives me amazing results, and I see so much faster hair growth because healthy hair just grows faster in general. But also, little note on the side, if you are eating like crap, you don't work out, you haven't done anything that can benefit your hair in any way, spraying some rose water on your hair, you might see an improvement because you haven't been using it before, but you're not going to see anything massive if everything on the inside is just like, you eat junk food every single day, it's just not going to help out. And then this is a little disclaimer I always like to put out there. Just because something is natural, because it is rose water and glycerin and it seems like the most common thing ever, people have allergies to the weirdest things, okay? So before you put it all over your scalp and let it drip down your clothes, which this actually doesn't drip that much. It's not like onion juice. Onion juice goes everywhere. This just stays where you spray it. Even though it's just like water. I can't explain it. It just stays in place. When it comes to something like this, anything that's DIY, especially things that are DIY, they are naturally unstable because you haven't put any stabilizing chemicals, you haven't tested it on anything. So I would always advise you to do a patch test. You can spray it on your arm, or if you have any place on your body that seems to get sensitive to things easily, that's probably where you should spray it and see if you get any kind of reaction, if your skin turns red, if anything like that happens, maybe just a day before or a couple of hours before. If nothing happens, go ahead and use it. And for me, this is one of the products that has the least amount of reaction things because it's very gentle. When it comes to how often you should use this, you can use this as many times as you want. So as many times as you moisturize your hair, provided you're in a nice environment, you can spray this all the time. Whenever you'd like to just spray water in your hair, you can spray rose water instead. And whenever you wash your hair, of course, that's when you can do the pre-poo if you want to do it in the pre-poo stage. This has no adverse effects when it comes to things like protein or anything that can cause too much buildup on your hair. When it comes to things like rice water, when it comes to onion juice, you can also use that as much as possible. It's just that the smell is so bad and you don't want that to stay in your hair. This is just so clean. There's no chance of any particles getting stuck in your hair or anything like that. That's why I love this so much. And then if you are thinking of making your own rice water, I have seen tutorials on that before, but honestly, I like to go by the whole time is money thing, and I think time is worth way more money than money. Because if you do something in 30 minutes, that 30 minutes is gone. You're never going to get that 30 minutes back. But if you spend 20 bucks on something, 5 bucks on something, you can make that back in a minute. You could just do that. You could find a way to do that. Making rose water from scratch with rose petals is just something that's too time consuming for me. I don't think it's worth it. I would just rather buy rose water from a trusted source. I bought my rose water locally, but I will link some in the description box below, from Amazon. I'm sure I'm going to find some good options. But if you do want to go ahead and make your own rose water, you can do that. Another reason why I would not make my own rose water is because I am allergic to pollen. So I would rather let whoever makes the rose water deal with touching the pollen and the petals and deal with all that, because there's a chance that some pollen can go into my rose water or something. Then I'm going to have an allergic reaction and I do not want to deal with that. So if you happen to be like me and you have a pollen allergy, think of that when you're trying to make these natural things. Because remember, just because it's natural doesn't mean it's better than something that's been bought, made, and stabilized with some chemicals or whatever that be. That's just what I live by, but you can do whatever you want. It is your hair. I hope this video helped you and that you're going to try it. Please leave the rose emoji in the comment section below if you'd like any more videos on rose water, any more questions. If you have used rose water on your hair before, please let me know. I'd love to know. Hit my face there if you didn't subscribe in the beginning. Hit my face here if you'd like some tips on how to start a YouTube channel, and watch the 2 videos on the side of the screen right here if you'd like to see any of my older videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!